Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. So going into this season, the Lakers were picked as one of the favorites to come out of the West. I think they were given the second best odds by Vegas, if I'm not mistaken, to win the NBA championship. I think the Brooklyn Nets were the team that had the highest odds to win the championship, and I think the Lakers were the number two. I think a lot of that had to do with some of the offseason moves that the Lakers made. They picked up Trevor Ariza, they picked up Carmelo Anthony, they picked up Rajon Rondo, they picked up Russell Westbrook. I think all of these moves, factored into, the consensus around the Lakers that, listen, this team is going to be formidable this season, and they have a very good chance to make it to the NBA Finals. Also, you have to factor in that they also had LeBron James, right? When you're making those type of predictions, or you're going to factor in the fact that you have in the mind of some people out there the best player in the NBA, if not the best player, certainly a top 3 or top 5 NBA player in the NBA, right? All of these things go into those type of projections. So that's what I think. Then, you put all of those things together. I think a lot of people got very hyped because, yes, you have all of these great pickups. Then you have LeBron, who's one of the 5 greatest players of all time. In my personal opinion, I have LeBron James in the top 5, players of all time. You factor all of these different things. I think people thought that the Lakers were going to be world beaters. However, this season thus far, the Lakers have been disappointing. They have been disappointing given their expectations and given the type of players that they have on the roster. The Lakers right now have just been disappointed. Let's just call it what it is. As we currently speak, the Lakers have a 500 record. They're currently they are a 500 team with a 10-10 record. They're the number 9 seed in the Western Conference. I don't think anyone going into this season thought that would be the case. Now, personally, I didn't think the way this team was constructed, I didn't think it was going to work. And I think the biggest issue started off with Russell Westbrook. Number 2, I didn't think they had enough shooting. So I didn't think it was going to work. However, I didn't predict them being at this point, after 20 games played, 25% of the season basically completed. I didn't think that they would be a 500 team. I just didn't think that. Now, a lot of people say, listen, you can blame the coach, you can blame all of this, but some people feel like, listen, you also have to blame LeBron James. Why? Because he, I'm sure, gave his blessings, gave his okay, gave the green light to a lot of these moves that were made. And I think that's fair. However, you also got to factor in the fact that he is playing alongside a lot of talent. He is playing alongside Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook, and they should have a better record, right? When you have two other top 75 players on your roster, you should have a better record than 10-10 after 20 games. Considering the fact that I think the first 15 games you played this season started at home. The first 12 of the 15 games that you played this season were home games. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't compute in my mind how this team has a 10-10 record. Now, if you listen to the title of this video, the question is, proof LeBron James is the last hope that the Lakers have. I think a lot of you guys out there will think that. I think a lot of you guys will think that that's a reasonable a notion, given the fact of just what happened, given the fact of what just happened just last night. Yesterday, I watched a decent amount of that game between the Lakers and the Indiana Pacers. And you could tell that this team had a completely different bounce, a completely different vibe with LeBron James in the lineup. You could just tell it from jump. Even though he didn't start off as hot, I know Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless had a bet on TV that LeBron James was going to have 18 points by the half. But listen, you could tell that they were a different team, right? Even though they were behind, they were making runs, and LeBron looked pretty steady. Looking at his play and looking at his demeanor, you could tell that the Lakers felt confident that they were going to win that game. And I didn't get that same level of confidence watching this team play just the night before against the New York Knicks when LeBron was out and they had Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook out there. That is the difference when you have LeBron James in the lineup, in my personal opinion. I mean, watching that game and looking at how well he was able to step up for that team, especially in OT, and really step up and deliver some big shots for the team and really help them get that win. Listen, he was sensational last night. If I look at the box score here, he finished the game, think about this. He finished the game with 39 points, only 2 turnovers. Think about that, 39 points, only 2 turnovers, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 6 assists, and 5 rebounds. He shot 89% from the free throw line, going 8 of 9 from the free throw line. He shot 42% from the 3 and 45% from the field. If LeBron James doesn't play as well as he did yesterday, the Lakers lose that game. And that is where I have a problem. The strategy cannot be that, listen, we are going to rely on a 37-year-old all-star to basically save our season. That cannot be the strategy. You just saw he came off an injury that I think he was dealing with his core, a core injury. I think he had some issue with his stomach or whatever, his core. You can't, your plan cannot be to rely on this guy. You need him for later in the season, and especially in the playoffs. He cannot overexert all of his energy early in the season, a quarter into the season, halfway into the season, just to keep this team afloat. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the Lakers are the 9th seed, which means that LeBron is going to have to do a lot of work. He's going to have to do a lot of lifting to get them above water and get them back into the playoff picture. And I know some of you guys are saying, oh, the playoff picture is on it. Listen, these games are being held against them. Right now, they're 10-10. They're going to have to make up that ground that they lost. I don't know if people are aware of this. It's not like as if we're just going to close your eyes and, oh, they're going to be back. No, they actually have to play well to catch up for them to have a decent record, to make it back above, make it into the 6th, 5th, 4th seed. You don't want to be in that bottom column of the 8 or 9, 7 or 8 seed, because you're going to end up playing, a very, very strong team to start off the playoffs. And to me, is LeBron fully capable of that? Yes. But is that a good strategy? No. Not when you have Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook on your roster. Just yesterday, we did a video where I said I don't believe that Anthony Davis, is the type of franchise player that the Lakers need. For me, I think Anthony Davis is going to have to step up. First, personally, I think AD should be the number 1 scorer in the Lakers. If I look at the roster, if I look at their scoring right now, I know that LeBron James is averaging what is LeBron averaging? LeBron is averaging 24.6 points per game, 25 points per game, 5 rebounds. Yeah, 5 rebounds and 6 assists. If I look at Anthony Davis, LeBron is averaging more points than Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is averaging 24.3. And here's my issue. Anthony Davis is 28 years old. LeBron James is 37 years old, 36, 37 years old. He's 8 years older than this guy. What is Anthony Davis's excuse? What is his excuse for not being the number 1? He should be the workhorse on this team. He should be, because he's their youngest all-star. He's their youngest all-star. LeBron James should be coasting with at least a 21 to 22 to 23 PPG. That should be his PPG. AD should be doing the heavy lifting. He should be somewhere around 27, 28 points per game, night in and night out. So LeBron James doesn't have to overexert himself. So when the playoff comes around, his body will be fresh, and then he can really ramp it up to help this team make a run. But I'm not seeing that right now. So the question I have for you guys is this. Do you think the Lakers championship hopes lie on the shoulder of LeBron James at this particular point? Or do you think that, listen, this team will only go as far as the rest of it, as the supporting cast goes? Do you think that LeBron is going to have to be the one to save the day once again, just like he did last night? Or do you think that, listen, this guy's not going to be able to do it on his own at this stage in his career? If he was 30 years old, 29, 28 years old, maybe he could put this entire team on his back. But do you think at this particular point in his career, it's wise for the Lakers to rely on him? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to make sure you go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified whenever we drop our content. Once again, this is Charles here from Dreamerspro, wishing you guys an amazing day and catch you guys on the next episode.